Hey everybody, welcome to my plan with me for the week of June 10th through the 16th. I'm using this EmmaKPrintables Loud and Bright kit, and I did print those like add-on balloons and then some fashion boxes. So I'm not 100% sure if I printed the entire kit, but I think I did. And then we've got the extra color of yellow, which I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to use or not. And then for foil, I've got like sparkly, or I guess star rainbow from Kristen's Planner. This was a foil of the month last year in her shop, but I just have been hanging on to this for a while, and I thought it worked really perfectly with the vibes in the kit. So I did get the checker underlays, and then I will be using solid black underlays under those. And then here's the scripts. I did pull a few of these already though. And I'll get right into the vase. Okay, getting right into it. This is a very packed week, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. For the sidebar, I am marking a 4-week countdown. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what it's for, but it's probably a concert of some sort. But then I'm also marking the name of the Say Anything tour that I went to this week. It was not the only concert, but I got that specific script for it, and I just didn't have room in the day to use it, so I thought I'd put it there. But Monday, I woke up, showered and shaved. I had lunch with my husband, which I did mark as eating watermelon because I have those scripts from the like summer bucket list, and we did have watermelon, so I wanted to use that. And then I did some planning. I was listening to music while I was doing that. I was also like making and editing some set lists because I like to do that before I go to shows. If possible, I like to know what the set list is ahead of time. That's just something I enjoy doing. And then I listened to the audiobook Funny Story some more this day. I was really enjoying it, and I did that while I was packing because I was going to be leaving the next day to go to Kansas City with Sarah. These boxes are annoying me. Okay. Well, not really the boxes, just how I spaced them. Then I had a jam sesh, and I filmed A Plan With Me, and then I watched Veronica Mars. So on Tuesday morning, I had to get up pretty early because since we were going to Kansas City and I do have a doctor there that I have to see once a year in person, I had a doctor's appointment that day, so we had to be there by a specific time. So I got the car all packed up, and then Sarah met me at my house, and I drove us to Kansas City. I did have like a little bit of a car issue. I had built in extra time, thankfully, but my car, like the brake sensor light came on, and I was not going to mess around with that when I was going to Kansas City, so I just said, forget it, and took my husband's car. Thankfully, I was able to do that. And once we got there, it was pretty much time for me to go to my doctor's appointment. Like, we were able to check into the Airbnb, but then we kind of headed over there. And because of where my psychiatrist's office is located, we got barbecue afterwards. We got Q39, which is, in my opinion, the best Kansas City barbecue. I have not tried every single barbecue place there, so I reserve the right to change that opinion, but I think it would be pretty hard to. And as Ted Lasso says, that makes it some of the best barbecue in the world. So after we had barbecue, we did go on a Target run. We needed to get some groceries anyways, but my doctor made some medication changes because of like the panic and sleep issues I had been having. So I needed to pick up a prescription. So I just had him call it in there, like over in Kansas, since that's where we were. So yeah, we got a ton of groceries, drinks, all different things. And then we got back and we were pretty tired just because we had gotten an early start that day. So we decided to watch the Hannah Montana movie because both Sarah and I watched Hannah Montana when it was on TV, but neither of us had seen the movie, and since we knew Taylor Swift was in it, we were like, let's just watch it. Why not? So we watched that. That was a fun time. And then we had gotten like a bunch of beverages. We got some like fruits and vegetables, and then we had food leftovers too, including some barbecue that I got for my husband that I was going to bring back in a cooler. But we were like messing with stuff, and the fridge did not seem to be getting stuff cold. So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. So I went ahead and froze the barbecue because I was like, I don't want that to go bad. But I took a bunch of the drinks out of the fridge, and then like we turned up the fridge temperature. Our host like said it was okay. And thankfully that resolved the issue, and I was able to put the drinks back in later. But yeah, I don't know if we just overloaded it and it wasn't turned up high enough, but yeah, I was stressed. And then we were playing the question game, which I don't know if other people play it and call it something different or if it's just like an us thing, but when we were in like junior high and high school, we would basically put our iPod on shuffle, and then we would ask it questions. At that point it was a lot of like, does this boy like me or whatever, and then based on the song title and lyrics, you kind of determine what the answer is. So yeah, that was a fun time. Obviously it wasn't like the same types of questions, but we had a good time, and we were just having drinks and stuff. We did bring our glitter, so we made some glitter drinks, and yeah, it was just a fun, chill night, especially because we pretty much knew we were going to be doing something every single night the rest of the trip. So it was nice to have a little bit of a night in, I guess. Before I get too ahead of myself, I did want to mention that this character, Corky, is from my shop, Corks and Corks Co. on Etsy. I do have it linked down below, and my Instagram handle is also the same thing, which that's where I post shop updates typically. So follow me for any information on that. I also do sell some icons, not just the corks, like that TV there. Anyway, Wednesday morning, I was kind of hungover. Like, we didn't get like crazy, but we had several drinks. So I wasn't feeling the best that morning. And then I took a shower, and it was one of those like expandable shower rods. So you kind of fit it to whatever size you need. You know, you can like twist it. Well, I just tossed my towel on top of the shower rod after I was done showering, and the shower rod fell down. So I was like struggling with it, and I ended up having to get Sarah to help me to like get it to stay back up. And we were kind of too nervous to use that shower again, so we just used the downstairs shower from then on. Thankfully there was one, but yeah. I was just so stressed out because I was like, I swear if I have to call this guy out because I broke the shower, like, gonna feel so dumb. We were going to a Taylor Swift event this evening, so we were getting ready for that, and while we did that, we were watching Taylor Swift music videos on YouTube, so that's why I marked YouTube on this day. And then after we got ready, we did go to a local record store called Josie Records. And I have never seen this at a record store, but I've also not been to a ton. They had a rarities section at the front, and they had two Panic at the Disco records that like I'd never seen in person anywhere. One was Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die, which is my favorite album by them. And it was like a splatter, like a clear with rainbow splatter, which if you've seen the cover of it, I might insert a picture. It fits the vibe of the cover art very well. And then they also had Pretty Odd, which that one was like purple. And they were still sealed. They were like Hot Topic exclusive, so we couldn't see like what the actual records looked like specifically, but it had the descriptions, and we used the app Discogs like all the time, so we knew what they looked like from that. And we were just like, we had to walk ourselves out of that place because those records were so expensive, and we wanted them, but it was just not worth that amount of money. So, I mean, to us. But the shop was super cool. We did find some stuff that we bought. It's like a smaller shop, but they had a pretty good selection of the kind of stuff that we like. So that was fun. If you're ever in the Casey area and you like records, I would recommend going there. Then we went to Lifted Spirits, which is my favorite distillery that I've been to. They make my favorite gin, and they are a Kansas City-based distillery. I don't really think they mass distribute or anything like that. It's a pretty small place, and from what I've seen, only sell it like in Kansas City area. So I got some to bring home, but we went there and had a couple cocktails because they make some drinks with their various different alcohols that they have there. But that was just really cool to go there with Sarah. I kind of had an emotional moment where I thought I was going to cry because it's just sharing some of my favorite places with one of my favorite people just feels really special and cool. And we didn't get to do a lot of that when I lived there for a lot of reasons, but it was really cool to be there with her. And that's a place that I also went to a lot with my KC bestie, Michael. And so it felt really nostalgic from that standpoint. And then also just the fact that I got to show her a new place and she liked it. So we had a good time there. And then after that, we went to the Tortured Pop-Up department. So back when I lived in Kansas City, I'm not 100% sure if I did a Plan With Me on that week, like if I was filming at that point, but they had a Taylor Swift pop-up bar and I was like, I have to go to it. So it was around my birthday and Brian went with me for my birthday, which was super, super fun, and we had a good time. But when I saw that they were having another pop-up while I was going to be there with Sarah, I was like, we have to go. Like, I was so excited. And those reservations get booked up, so I got too excited. But yeah, it gets booked up, so I was glad I saw it when I did, so I was able to get us a reservation since we had stuff going on the other days. Turned out to be trivia night, which I did not realize until like a couple hours before we got there. So that was really fun. It was definitely a different vibe than the first time I went because of the trivia, but not in a bad way. And of course the decorations, like there were a few things that they had from the last time, but there was a lot of new stuff because of course Taylor's come out with a new album since then. And so I may insert some pictures of it because it was just really cool. And being in Kansas City, of course, you know, they had like a big Travis Kelce cutout next to a cutout of her. It was a fun time. And long story short, with trivia, we got 4th place, which I was pretty proud of us. For 3rd place, Sarah did like a lightning round thing, and you had to nominate one person from your group. I need to flip these. Ugh. Okay. But yeah, you had to pick one person to do the lightning round. And I was like, Sarah, you do it. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, because if they ask if basically what they were doing was they would say a song lyric and you had to pick the song it was. So you had to really know your lyrics. And so I was like, if it's anything from her first album or her newest album, I'm not going to do great because I don't dislike the Tortured Poets department, but it's just not like something I listen to constantly. So because of how long Sarah lasted in that lightning round, they actually ended up giving us a little bit of a prize as well, which was really cool. I was super proud of her. That, like, it went on for a long time. Like, her and the other girl were serious Swifties, clearly. But you're being extremely competitive because it's Taylor Swift. So when we got back to our Airbnb, we just kind of went to bed early because we were pretty tired from all the stuff we did that day. But, oh gosh, I don't like how that looks. So I'm just going to leave that one because cutting the other one did not work. Thursday, we got Providence Pizza. Whoops, I forgot I had sticky noted those down for photos. So we did go and pick up Providence Pizza because that is a pizza place in the KC area. They have several locations and they have gluten-free crust and vegan cheese. So I miss it a ton because I can't get anything like that where I live right now. And yeah, it was just really delicious. And then we stopped at a little coffee place on the way back called Westport Coffee, which that was a cute little place. I liked it. And after that, we got back and we ate our pizza and watched Ted Lasso. Then we went to Brick River, which if you have watched my Plan With Me's, you have definitely heard me talk about Brick River. They have a location in St. Louis, which is their first location, and then they also have one in KC. So I wanted to show Sarah the KC one because she had never been to it. So that was super fun. There was like nobody there, but also we kind of went in the middle of the day. So it wasn't really the time that they would be busy because it was a Thursday afternoon, so not prime cidery time, I guess. Oh, you can't even tell that's a shopping fair. Whatever. So after Brick River, we did go to the concert. So there were 2 openers for Say Anything. The first one was called Greet Death, and the second one was AJJ, which I don't really remember much about Greet Death. I don't think their music was bad. It was really hot in the venue. It's like an old theater, and it's really cool, but they don't have AC, I don't think. And I had only ever been in the fall, and I didn't know that. So that was a little rough. But I, for some reason, was having like anxiety attacks and had a panic attack at the concert, which that does not usually happen to me. Usually concerts, I'm pretty immersed. But for some reason, I was just having a really hard time with my anxiety. I mean, I already had been in general. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure why. It got mostly better when Say Anything went on because, you know, I know their music. And then I did have a panic attack starting while they were playing at one point, but then he was talking about like how there was a song that they hadn't been playing, and because of like the algorithm on Instagram or something, and his kids telling him they were going to play it. So they played A Walk Through Hell, which is just one of their top streamed songs. So I'm honestly shocked it wasn't on the set list to begin with. And it's from the album they were playing. But yeah, I was super glad we got to hear that. Because basically from my research beforehand, there was like an option where it could be played, but it was 3 different songs. So they were like switching off the song they sang during a specific part of the set. It would be one of 3 songs. So I thought, well, crap, we're not going to get to hear this song, but we did.
I walk through hell for you, let it burn right through my shoes. These souls are useless without you. Through hell for you, let the torturing ensue. My soul is useless without you.
And we also got to hear another one of them, so that was really fun. On the way back, we just walked back because I had gotten us an Airbnb close enough that we could walk to the venue on purpose. We just stopped at Walgreens to get a few things, and then we, again, kind of went to bed early. Like, we tried to hang, but we were just tired, and so I was just listening to my book in bed. So the concert was really good. I just was having anxiety stuff going on, so that was sucky. But It was pretty cool to be back at the venue as well, because that was the first venue I went to when I went to a concert post like lockdown, when concerts were just not a thing. So it was really cool to be back there with Sarah. And I'm gonna cut myself off because I am so behind. So Friday, we DoorDashed a place called Homegrown Kitchen, which had amazing breakfast sandwiches. I definitely recommend it if you are in the KC area, because it was delicious. And they had gluten-free options for me, so that was super nice. That's one thing I really miss about the city. But then we went to another record store called Mills Record Company, and the selection of records just for our specific record taste was not like anything amazing, even though it's a really huge store. But the aesthetic of the store is really cool. I'm not gonna like take a long time to describe it. I'll just pop in a picture. But it looked really cool, so I'm glad we went. Then we went shopping at this local store. I cannot remember the name of it, but I had seen it when we went to pick up our Providence pizza, and I was like, hey, I want to go in there because there's like this KC shirt that's got like a heart with KC in it by the brand Charlie Hustle, and they're just things that I would see around KC, like see people have them. So I got a Chiefs colored one because I've just been wanting one for years. Then we went to a place called Broadway Coffee. That was just in the same general area we were in, and we were like, we're kind of tired. We want coffee. Let's just sit down and have it because we had some time. Then after we went there, we did go to Taco Bell. There's also a Taco Bell cantina, like the one I went to in Nashville, in Kansas City. I had no clue when we lived there because it's just, we didn't live in downtown, so some of that kind of stuff I didn't explore necessarily. But we just grabbed something there, and then we went back to the Airbnb to get ready because we were going to a festival, and watched the surprise songs from the Eras tour that day. So that was fun. Sarah just like screen mirrored so we could watch on the TV. And then I drove to the Crown Center because that is the place where the festival was at, in downtown Kansas City at the Crown Center. So I was able to get free parking, and we were right by the festival. Super, super nice. Then we took the streetcar because we were meeting my friend Michael that, I mentioned, and his partner Jessica at a Thai place, but that is on like the opposite side of downtown. So we just rode the streetcar up there and met up with them. We had dinner, and unfortunately I was not super hungry, which I had just been having appetite issues. This was not new, but I was really bummed because their food is amazing. So I ate as much as I could, but it wasn't as much as I wanted to. So then we went to Boulevardia, which I had never been to any kind of festival really, so it was really fun. We did a little like shopping. I found some earrings that I got from like a local vendor, just kind of looked around, and then we went ahead and got over by the stage because Hanson was playing. And yes, that Hanson, bop. So that was really fun. Took me back to childhood. And like, I didn't realize they were going to be there when I got tickets. Or maybe I did. They might have been the only band I knew at that time. But yeah, that was just so fun. with this festival, it was just one of those things of like, we planned our Casey trip, we had our concert, wanted to have a few days before the concert to explore the city, and then we had this day because the next day we were in St. Louis. So it just perfectly timed out that we were able to go this evening. So it was crazy how this trip like fell together. It was really cool. But the headliners for Boulevardia that night were Milky Chance, and they are super fun. Most people know like one song by them, but I didn't know the name of the band. I just knew the song. But they are so fun live. Whoever was introducing them on stage said that they've been trying to get them since 2014. So like 10 years they've been trying to get this band in Casey. And they had just flown in from Berlin that day. So I don't know if it's exactly disco techno, but it kind of is. I don't know. It was really fun to dance to, even not knowing the songs. So that was perfect. And I knew a few of the songs, but not most of them. And I was kind of surprised when they ended their set, but, you know, I was like, okay, it's a festival. There's no encore because it's a festival. So people started leaving. We were kind of like heading out that way, but not like rushing. And then the band came back on and they started playing again, and they played a whole like 5 more songs. So we stayed. We didn't like stand and dance. I found a chair and sat down because I was needing to like rest by that point. But yeah, it's like, it was awesome. They played basically until the festival was completely over.
Moving like a Panamon, Panamon. I wish I was a disco boy, disco boy. I should be dancing the pain away, the pain away. We can be on the floor, having things like this before. We don't talk about it and sing on to the boogie all night long. It's gonna be a paradise. She didn't talk about it. I want you. We can be on the floor, having things like this before. We don't talk about it.
Stop putting boxes down because it's stressing me out. I'm so behind. So on Thursday, we got up kind of early because we had to go to St. Louis and had to check out by 11. So we wanted to just get everything all together. So we were really exhausted because there was just a lot of noise the night before. Somebody was blaring music and like revving their motorcycle right outside Sarah's bedroom window. That was crappy. And then we packed up. I drove us to St. Louis. We got checked in, and then we went to a sandwich place that Sarah had found that had like gluten-free options and stuff, because that sounded good to us. We were really hungry. And there was a sign on the door that said that they had closed down permanently literally 3 days before. So we were like, well, crap, what can we go to that's in this area still? So we found a barbecue place. I didn't actually eat barbecue there because I'm a snob, and while I've never had St. Louis barbecue, it didn't sound good. So I didn't have it. I had like a BLT, but it was really, really good. And then we went to a record store, and the only explanation I can think of for this is just like karma, like good karma, because we got to this record store and they had like a new arrivals section where they had some used stuff, and we've never really looked over there, but Sarah was looking at it and she found not the exact one, but basically the other variant of that Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die record, which was like $200 almost at the other record store. And this one wasn't mint condition or anything, but it still was something that they could have sold for a lot, but it was $20. So I don't know. But then I was like, oh my God, I'm going back, because I was mad that she found it, finders, keepers, all that. But I actually was able to go back and get a couple of other Panic at the Disco albums that are like rare variants. So that was super exciting and wild. And we had like an adrenaline rush after that, I swear. We were just like, what just happened? After that, we went to our concert because it was in the same area, and so we kind of just planned to stay there until it was time to go. So we got there, I bought some merch, and then the opener for Taking Back Sunday was Citizen, and they were super fun. I really enjoyed their show, and I didn't know any of their music. The crowd was super into it. They were already moshing in the pit, which we almost never get seats for this type of show, but I got them for some reason, and I am so glad we did, because it was such a long week. The fact that people were so intense in the pit, like, I just couldn't have dealt with that. So very grateful for our seats, and we did get up and dance, but we were able to sit when we needed to. And Taking Back Sunday put on an amazing show. I have never seen them live before, and I would definitely see them again if I had the chance, because it was such a fun time. They have really good new stuff. They, of course, played a lot of the old stuff, and they did switch up one of the songs on our set list, which I only noticed because, like I said, I make these set lists and stuff and I listen to them ahead of time. But I really like the song that they played instead, which is called Your Own Disaster. So that was really cool to get to hear that.
You've got this new head filled up with smoke. I got my veins all tangled up. In the jukebox bars you frequent, this favorite place to hide. A long night's spent with your most obvious weakness. You start to shake, yeah, you are everything I want. 'Cause you are everything I have.
And then we were heading back to the car, and I was just walking, as I do, and I twisted my ankle. I didn't fall down, thankfully, but I already had an ankle brace on this ankle because I was feeling iffy, and I twisted it even with the brace on it. It was bad. So the real kicker is the fact that our Airbnb was a loft, so getting up those stairs sucked. And I had done laundry before we left. I was going to put it in the dryer and stuff because that was down in the garage. And I did, but I was like, there's no way I am going to go get those clothes tonight. I'll just get them tomorrow morning. I was like, I can't go back up and down the stairs. But we got Burger King because we were kind of hungry. And just the weirdest thing happened with our sandwiches. So Sarah got a fish sandwich and I got a Whopper. I got the sandwich with all the normal stuff on it, and it's a lot easier for me at Burger King because they don't default put cheese on. So anyways, Sarah ordered her sandwich with no tartar sauce and then added a couple things. Well, all she got was a plain fish sandwich on a bun. She's like, whatever, I can eat it, it's fine. Well, then, I got my burger and I was like, there's nothing on this except mayo. And I was like, whatever. So I started eating it and I was like, this doesn't taste right. And then I realized it was tartar sauce. So they put tartar sauce on my burger, and we weren't even supposed to have tartar sauce in the order at all. So I don't know what they were doing. I know it was late, but we just... I wasn't even mad at it. We were just tired and loopy, and it made us laugh a lot. So that's why I marked it. But On Sunday, that was Father's Day, so that's the first thing I marked. We got up pretty early, packed, checked out, grabbed some food, and then I brought us home. I got to tell Brian all about my trip, which was super, super fun. I had some Happy Meal when I got home because, you know, I usually have some kind of Happy Meal if I'm gone for that long. And then we did go to my in-laws that evening. Since it was Father's Day, we wanted to go spend time with my father-in-law. So we had dinner with them, and then we played some games, and then we had a pie that his mom made. And then I got back home and I watched Criminal Minds Evolution and then just fell asleep. So that was my super fun KC trip. I'm so grateful, so grateful that I got to go. If you watched this far in, thank you so much because I know I talked a lot. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.